Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the channel for the people on TikTok. I'm starting to kind of look at spreading onto there, but it's been kind of a minute since I've done a video, and I mean, even the last video I did was more of a little teaser showing y'all the mods I've done to the bike, the accessories, and all that. A little bit's been going on. Been trying to figure things out myself lately, and get everything together, so to say. I'm not gonna say everything has been figured out, but it's getting better. But without further ado, I do want to actually talk about the mods in this video today, as well as y'all can make fun of the camera, because I mean, I am messing with a new accessory, so from playing around with it, it actually turned out it was doing pretty well. I mean, I can already kind of tell that it's doing pretty decent right now. But let's switch it over and get to the bike. So starting off out front, of course, we got where the Max 2 mounts. It goes down to the crash bars. And then this is the Kawasaki official windshield for the Vulcan S right here. This is the tallest variant they have. I know that much. I don't remember if it's the large or extra large, supposedly, but it's nice. I'd say I might like it a little bit bigger, but you know, for what it is and what I need it to do, it does perfectly. Next, it's gonna be coming down here to these here aux, auxiliary light, and blinker mounts that I've done. These are from Zytomer. I'm gonna have the name kind of go across the screen so you guys know. But I do have a lot of their accessories too. The lights are not from them. They are also just random LEDs on Amazon. And then moving back, we have actually right here on the crash bar, you can see where I've had a low side, and the Zytomer crash bar did good. I never used a cover, so any rust you see on here is just because I don't use a cover. And then coming up here to the handlebar section area. Let me turn on so I can show y'all a little bit better. So I do have, as y'all can see, I do have my cup holder, because I like having my drinks. And then I have a 7-inch Android Auto display, just so I don't have to worry about leaving my phone on the bike or anything like that. This is a cheapie. Like, this one's only going to be about, I want to say this was 60 bucks on Amazon. So like, it was nothing. I do plan on upgrading it to a nicer variant. Sorry, losing angle for a second. Which will have the next thing, which is kind of hidden back here behind it, included, which is it's a little hard to see, but it's a tire pressure sensor. These are the external cap versions, but it's just because, I'll be honest, I'm not always great at checking my tire pressures before trips and stuff. I'll be honest. But then, kind of pulling back a little bit more about that, these are 12-inch apes. These are 7/8-inch bars, so I did have to use some spacers down here in the clamp to make sure that it actually fit and held tight, because technically this is just like the Indian Scout bobber, to where the controls are 7/8, the mirrors are 7/8, but then everything else is 1 inch. But then moving back a little, actually just a little down. It's right there. I did go for a keyless gas cap, just for convenience. No other reason. Convenience. Now, actually, before we go further back and bring on down here, part I forgot is these were just random AliExpress floorboards that I got. They've been holding up great. Yeah, I've been looking at getting some different variants though, just for something different. I've been enjoying them. They work great. I'll have these ones linked down below. Everything I'll have kind of linked down below. There's a few things I'll be upgrading / switching out. Most of it is done, but I digress about that. Then moving back here toward the seat, I did kind of do that a custom seat like thing for a bit, which has been holding up great. But as you can see, it's tearing at the stitches, so got to replace it now, which I am looking at one, but it's just it's very pricey, so it's not happening anytime soon. This is I want to say this was the Kawasaki official passenger seat. If not, it is just some random Chinese brand. Seat pad is actually a combination of two. The rider pad, easy for me to say. The rider backrest, and it's truthfully it's the bracket and plate from just some random Chinese company's rider backrest for the Vulcan S. But I did switch it out to where this is the backrest that came with the tour pack mount, which we'll get to in a second. And I just switched out its plates for how it mounted and mounted it up here. Been amazing. Moving on further back, as I was saying with the tour pack. Oop, figure this thing out. There we go. But with the tour pack and the saddlebags, these are Harley imitation from TCMT. I want to if I'm not right, I'm gonna have it across the screen, but throughout this I'll pop up any brand names that I do know across the screen so you guys can see too. Which Kifa will actually know and can attest to. This King Tour Pack has cost me some headaches. This one right here. Yeah, this guy right here. Look, I got him working, and I mean it. Got the lights on him working and everything. There we go. Trying to figure this thing out. It takes me down. There we go. Sorry about that. I'm gonna leave all of this in uncut. I mean, I'll probably make a cut for TikTok and probably redo this all for TikTok, maybe. If not, I'll have a link to it on TikTok. But both the tour pack and saddlebags are going to be both the 2014 and newer variants. And so, like, you know, the saddlebags just have the lever over here, open them up, boom. And then, oh, flip it over. There we go, fixing it. But then the King Tour Pack, you know, opens like so. You got some stickers on the inside. Oh, I'm still trying to figure this thing out, guys. Sorry, bear with me. Why are you switching? There we go. Sorry, some technical errors. But then next is going to be literally the brackets for the saddlebag and tour pack. They're both T-Rex Racing brackets. And honestly, this tour pack I really want to talk about. This mount is it's a two-part mount that you get from them. They have the grab bar, sissy bar backrest, which would include this, and then they do have an extender plate. And well, an extender plate just mounts up right here and extends out a bit further. However, my big thing was, and one of the things that I was worried about, is when it comes to mounting, support for the tour pack. And it's just, this one gave it just all it needed. It has now attached itself to the bike and actually has way more support than all the other mounts out there. And they told me that this mount could only probably handle about 12 pounds, or they would recommend 12 pounds. I put this through a lot more than just 12 pounds because this tour pack itself is about probably 28, 29 pounds. So, have a little more faith in your products. But lastly is actually going to be the heel toe shifter over here. This is also just a random, no name part I got off of AliExpress. And then found it worked and kept it. But then last, officially, finally, it's going to be right here with the Zeitimer center stand, which has made maintenance very nice for this bike. I mean, it helps get the bike off the ground, and with the way it tilts, you know, I can tilt it back toward the rear and actually work on the front tire and have that gap up front, and I don't have to worry about the center stand coming on out. And actually, recently I just did the front tire. But it's definitely been a fun learning curve trying to get some of these to work, because I mean, even Kawasaki is like, yeah, you're not really probably going to get able to have some of these work. And I said, well, we shall see. We shall see indeed. But, you know, that's going to be kind of it for the mods. Again, apologize with all the angles and everything. This is my first time actually using a gimbal. And so, you know, trying to figure out how this thing works. And, you know, I figured out how the follow works, obviously, you know, and setting that up and all that. But I haven't really fine-tuned my gimbal capabilities yet, I should say. But hey, stay tuned. I've got some plans actually, even for later tonight. Later tonight when I'm doing this video. Probably be sometime next week for y'all if I post something, or maybe tomorrow, or we'll see what we see. But I do have a lot more plans to get things coming out, get things going, and yeah. So Stay tuned. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Feel free to roast me about, like I said, the camera down in the comments. I would love to hear the roasts. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, sticking around. Until next time, stay safe.